All right, you guys, welcome to our Team Break Free Master Your 90-Day Game Plan. This is Thursday, the 29th, and we are in week 5, which basically means that we have done a little bit over a month of our 90-day game plan. So that's a significant amount of time. I mean, we've been doing this for you've already passed the 4-week mark. And a lot of us, as we've gone through and we've been working together, some of us have met amazing goals. Like Lucy de Blasio, I just want to formally recognize you on our Zoom chat and just say congratulations on hitting 2-star Golden Circle. Woo!
Yay!
A huge accomplishment, you guys. That's a little over $1,000 a week, and she's just getting started. And so that's what I love about this business is that you can replace you can replace portions of your life in income. So you could, if it's a car payment that you need to, get rid of, or not, you don't want to you don't want that to keep coming out of what you normally keep coming out of, or it just gets bigger. Like vacations, groceries, I mean, just everything. I love it. And the average person in Isagenix particularly earns typically above average for most people who are in the network marketing industry. And it's due to our compensation plan. It's due to the leadership we have with the company, Jim and Kathy Cooper. And it's due to, honestly, the simplicity of being able to share something so amazing like a cleanse. And, people are looking for that. People like really good, high quality food. And so we're able to share that and create amazing goals. So never forget the basics. I guess I shouldn't say that. Remember the basic reasons why we promote Isagenix every single day. And it's about your personal experience, and it's about the experience that others still require in their life to really move forward. And that's what we're going to be talking about on week 5 anyways. We're going to be talking about connecting, mindset mastery. We're going to do a little bit of scripts at the very end, which, just going over overcoming some objections and things like that I know some of you guys have been wanting to go through. And so we're going to start with probably the most exciting portion first, which is that we have a very important guest speaker. And then we'll go through all of house cleaning later. Normally we do it at front, and tonight, because we have Melissa Clough on, which is amazing. She's an Isagenix teammate and everything, that we're going to just jump right into that. So let me share with you, if you guys are only meeting Melissa for the first time tonight, George and I's story when we were coaching with Melissa. Now, when George and I first moved to Texas, you guys, we were feeling the angst of being in a brand new place and really trying to make, our new lifestyle work around, of course, Isagenix is always working, but we weren't working that great together. So we were really needing to come together when it came to the business. And George and I both have seriously different ideas about how the business should be built. To be honest with you, as a couple, we don't do everything together. We build our business together, but we don't always do all the activities together. And so that's why I just think it's finding someone like Melissa who truly specializes in really helping people get right with their mind. And we've been talking a lot about that. So we want to share a little bit about what happened when we started coaching with Melissa. But just so you know, Melissa, I didn't say this before. Melissa is a yoga instructor. Let me just do this. Just one sec. Want to make sure mute. Oh, sorry, I'm muting everybody. Everyone but you, Melissa. Okay. All good now. Okay. So she is a NLP expert. So that is what we call neuro-linguistic programming. It's about the language that you speak. It's about how to speak more powerfully to yourself and to others to really create change. Yeah, and she's a hypnotherapist, an NLP expert, and a yoga instructor. She's just my really good friend now, and I love her to death. So, I love you. You're a blast. And so
I love you too. You adopted me as your friend. You're you're going to be my best friend now.
I was like, now I'll call her for other things that she's
right.
Right?
Totally fine with me.
I love it. But George, he really put it together well when he was talking today. What kind of happened more on the financial end? Because George is truly, he's the numbers guy. I'm more like the connector and the recruiter and, that type of person and the trainer. And George is the trainer, the numbers guy, and he pretty much tells me, what needs to happen for us to move forward.
All right.
So, yeah.
After seeing the pretty face, now it's my turn. Anyway, actually, when we were in Austin, when we were going like chicken with no head, is what they said, or something like that.
With their head cut off.
That's right. Anyway, I told Adrian, we have to find a person that is an expert in NLP. And I started looking on the internet, and then I found Melissa's website, and I was really curious. And I called her. Actually, I sent an email. We set an appointment, and after we talked to her the first time is when we said, "Wow, yeah, we are going to do this," because we found out not only the background that was on the website, but how friendly she was, and also the background of her husband that said, well, she seems to be really good at it. It's interesting because we took 5 sessions with her. I think it was 5. Mm-hmm. 5 sessions with her. That's basically 5 weeks. And the interesting thing that the results were amazing, because then in less than 90 days, we increased by 50 cycles a week. And for those of you that don't know yet what a cycle is, that's about, we increased by $10,000 in a month, the income. And I, of course, I can say, oh, it was a coincidence, but I don't think it was a coincidence.
No.
Because we did different exercise, different things that you are going to learn with her that help us to break to certain barriers, certain things. And some of them are so simple that you say, why I didn't think about that? Because sometimes we are in our head so messed up that we need somebody else to push us or to kick us. But it's amazing. NLP, for those of you who don't know what it is neuro-linguistic programming. And that's is basically what it means, that everything's connected with the way that we think, the way that we talk. It's all connected through our nervous system. And hypnosis, all of you know what hypnosis is. Actually, NLP has the roots in hypnosis. And all that together, when you use that technology the right way, it's incredible the things that you can do. And also yoga, when you want to stretch yourself like a pretzel or something like that. but it's really powerful. And on top of that, she's a businesswoman. And that's very important because she understands the psychology of business. She's an entrepreneur. And she knows how the psychology of business has to be done. And it's why we are so excited to have her not only in our team, but also as a person, a friend, as a consultant, because incredible. Every time that we get together with her and her husband, we're always talking about ideas. We talk the 4 at the same time. I don't know how we understand each other, but it's so excited. But anyway, that's why I wanted to say introducing her. And she's an amazing person, the same as her husband.
Thank you guys. That's awesome. Yeah, I love seeing all your progress. It's really, really exciting. I love it. You're like my ideal clients.
Well, we've been just so grateful. And I know that you're going to be hosting a free hour-long seminar coming up on October 15th at 11 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, right?
Yes. Yeah.
It's going to be a live event. And I know that you have kind of some specials you're going to be offering tonight for people who pre-register. But you guys, this event is going to be awesome. And I'm going to give you more of the pricing later. But I know that you coach so many successful entrepreneurs. And are there a few common things? Because I know that you have this amazing 3-step process. But what are a few common things that they all kind of have in common, that they need? Like, how can you kind of wrap up in like a couple minutes? What do all successful entrepreneurs need to move forward? What do you feel?
So one of the things, well, first of all, I find that I feel like I'm working with the same issue over and over and over again. And what is really amazing about that is that we, as human beings have patterns, and that's all what psychology is based on, is the patterns of behavior. And it's amazing because I find it in my practice so often, like, I generalize and say everybody is pretty much all the same, but it's really true. Most people have the same issue and it just presents itself in different ways. So for example, most of the time, the biggest issues that I work with are that people feel that they're either not good enough or not capable or not worthy. And those 3 things are usually what not just entrepreneurs, but, pretty much everybody, almost everybody comes in with are those issues. And what's really fascinating is that even with entrepreneurs, you can be really successful. And I mean, I'm working with a guy who's a billionaire right now, and he is super successful. And you would never think he has any issues with his confidence, but he does. He says, I feel like a fraud. I feel, like I don't know what I'm talking about to all my big clients, yet he's making millions of dollars. And so it doesn't really matter, if you're successful or not. We all have these issues, and those issues come from deep-seated limiting beliefs that were formed when we were young, and they sit and they reside in the subconscious mind. And they present themselves by triggers. We get something that happens to us, or somebody says a certain thing to us, and it triggers a response where we either feel incapable or not worthy, or we feel that we don't deserve something, or we self-sabotage. And so those are the main things, that I find that are so common that almost everybody that comes into me is experiencing. And the one thing that I say is the one key thing that is the difference between success and not success is taking responsibility. And I say this all the time, but it's so important. I say it all the time because it's so important. Taking responsibility, in other words, meaning you stop blaming other people for wherever you're at, stop blaming for your hardships. We've all gone, I mean, like I said, I talk to so many people, and I hear the worst horrible stories about what happens to people and what happened when they were kids, and, just horrible things I hear all the time. Yet they're willing to get up and go, okay, so this happened to me. That's not going to define my future. That's not going to define my success or my experience now. And they take responsibility and say, okay, I choose now to move forward. And when you choose to move forward, then you do the work to move forward, and you are willing to look within. And it's not, about like succumbing to vulnerability or anything. It's not like, okay, I have to, if I am going to look within, that means I'm weak. That's not the case. We all have inner strength within us. Sometimes it just gets kind of muddled and worn out and hidden within us, but it's all, I think we all have the inner resources that we need within us. And that's truly my philosophy, is that you have everything within you. It just gets blocked sometimes. And that's what I do, is I come in and help people find where that is and take responsibility to take inspired action to move forward in their lives.
I love that you say inspired action, because that was such a huge part for George and I. We wanted to take inspired action, but we weren't quite sure what would be the most effective way. Now, both George and I have had some interesting pasts, me did not have the easiest life growing up. I remember that's one of the first things I told you. It was like I wanted to blame everything and everybody for why I still wasn't where I wanted to be. And I was really I didn't realize how deep-seated that anger was, and yet I had created this, specific level of success. And I knew, I was responsible to a certain extent. Mm-hmm. And I think that's how a lot of us are. I mean, even the people, and all of you guys, my friends, my beautiful friends in this group, even all of us sitting in here, we still have these massive goals, even for a 90-day run. And yet sometimes we find it difficult to connect with just one person per day, and there's certain things that kind of hold us back and we get frustrated. And I think, the majority of all of us on this call, we do a really good job. You wouldn't be on here if you weren't a responsible person. Every single one of you who's on here, you have leadership qualities, you have, expressed and created income and isogenics, and yet there's still room for growth. And so that's why I wanted Melissa on, is because that's exactly where George and I were at. We created success to a certain extent, and we wanted to reach more people. We wanted to do it in an effective way, and we knew that there were gaps. We knew that there were some barriers between us and the energy we're putting out there. And because we are, and I'm just going to say this, I believe that we're, spiritual beings having a human experience, and we're all energy, and the energy that we put out there is really how we're reflected and perceived. And those are the type of people we attract back to us in our organization, our business. And we wanted to sort of transcend or shorten that gap as fast as possible. And that's why we started working with you. And so, I've had a few people ask, gosh, with all of that stuff that has happened, why didn't you just go back to like a traditional therapist? Or why don't you just hire specifically a business coach? Or why, you just avoid the pain, right? And go to the pleasure or whatever. But we had done that before and it wasn't working. And I just want to ask you this, and I know this is kind of off topic because I have questions that I'm supposed to but I want to ask you this. What is the difference between working with somebody who's like a hypnotherapist, like specifically for business, and, helping you break through barriers versus like hiring just a different kind of, just like a regular old coach who's going to give you the 1, 2, 3 ABC, or, knowing that you have gaps or, limiting beliefs that you have to get through and going to like traditional therapy or something for that, because you have found a way to bring those together,
Yeah, and that's a good question. My background is I have a master's degree in psychology. So I'm, I have total respect for the psychology field and the cognitive behavioral side of it. I love that. But I think it has its time and its place. And when people go to, I went to a therapist for years and I actually had a really good one. And I found a lot of insight in that experience. But what I found was that, okay, I figured out what was wrong, like what happened throughout my life that, caused me to be the way that I am. But I didn't know what else to do with it after that. And that's, pretty much what I hear is when people go to therapy, they go for years and they're like, okay, I know what's wrong. Okay, I know my dad did this and that caused me to be this way and whatever. But now what? Now where do I go from here? And so my approach is very forward thinking. It's a very, what I call future paced approach. Like your future, you're looking towards the future. You're working on accomplishing goals that will help your future instead of looking back in the past. Because what traditional psychology will do is they'll say, okay, what happened when you were 10? And you tell them that whole horrible experience. And the next week they go, okay, tell me about when you were 10 again. And okay, let's go back to that time again. And 5 weeks later, you're still going back to that time when you were 10. And you leave not feeling very well a lot of times. Like it's like feel just icky, because you re-experience those negative experiences. And when you continue re-experiencing them, you're just reinforcing that in your mind. As you re-experience it, you're reinforcing it, causing you to be more like the way you don't want to be. So what I do is we stop that pattern right now, break it, and then we start to shift perspective and move towards how you want to be instead. Okay, so some things happened to you in the past. What can you learn from it? Let's not go back there anymore. Learn from it, let go of the emotion, move forward. So does that make sense?
Yeah. 100%. Yeah, that's one of the reasons why George and I were like, yes, this is the person for us, because we didn't want to go rehash it out. In fact, we've done a lot of work not to go back there because we realized that every single time we go back there and we live in that story, we repeat the process. And you guys, some of you guys might be thinking, what does this have to do with network marketing? And I just want, if you've never heard me say this before or any big major leader in network marketing, I want you to truly let this sink in for a moment. Network marketing is a personal development plan attached to a compensation plan. So when we talk about, growth in your business and, people like Lucy go, hitting 2-star and going 20 cycles per week and, people rank advancing, things like that, you guys, so many of them have worked so much on themselves to be that attractive force, so that they are doing the daily steps, so that they're not procrastinating their success because they feel like they have to be a certain person. And so that's really what it is. Network marketing is a personal development plan attached to a compensation plan. And your income will grow to the extent that you're willing to grow yourself. And a lot of it's too, you guys think about this, you come into network marketing with maybe some of you don't, but I know I grew up in Utah in the mecca of network marketing, and how I had all these preconceived ideas about network marketing, what it was. I thought it was for people who didn't know how to have a real job. I thought it was for people who, just wanted to, sell a bunch of stuff to everybody and leave them hanging, like there wasn't any support. And a lot of this was based on experiences that I really had. And you really want to develop yourself so that you're the well-rounded leader that is a powerful force out there. Somebody who's truly attracting people who can get excited about this. They're looking for it. You're talking about true connecting, true collaborations, not just, being a poor leader. You can't leave people hanging, number one. If you're feeling like you're scared of responsibility, that's going to be an issue for you moving forward, is understanding that you need to get people the right information to keep them going. You know, a lot of that stuff. So George wants me to hurry up. So, anyways, I'm so excited about this, taking responsibility, you know, stop blaming, choose to move forward, and really, you know, doing this. Now, I want to just like ask you like everything at once, but I know that you've compiled a whole seminar that's going to be happening again, you guys, on October 15th. It's online. I've got the link. I'm going to put it out for everybody. You can pre-register for the event. It's going to be an hour long. And normally, you guys, the value is around $197 for the hour, okay? And I don't know what you've heard already from Melissa. You want more, right? I mean, I'm like, want to just continue to talk forever to her about everything. So this $197 value, after we've done so much speaking, and because Melissa Clough is very responsible and just a really stand-up kind of gal, she said, you know, Adrienne, I love Isagenix. I love what Isagenix has done for me in my life. And, you know, if we decide to do this, I would love to do an hour of coaching free. Yeah, free. So there's no 197. Okay, it's going to be a free seminar for everybody in Isagenix. It's open to everybody. If you guys want to invite friends to it, you're welcome to invite friends to it. And you know, I mean, we're going to go through everything. We're going to go through things like, you know, like one of those drop down. It's like, right. 197. No shit. Right? I was into it. I got excited. So, you know, but we're going to talk about, you know, successful coaching and what that means. We're going to talk about, you know, your hypnotherapy podcast, which, oh my gosh. At first you guys have to understand, I've had a lot of coaches, and this is my first coach that's a certified hypnotherapist, not just in hypnotherapy, but in NLP. And I was like, oh, yeah, sure. I'll listen to the hypno track or whatever at night. And then all of a sudden, I was like, George and I, we'd be going to bed, we'd be looking at each other like, do you have your hypno track in? Like, you know? Are you listening to Melissa tonight? Incredible hypnotherapy tracks and podcasts. One of my favorite ones, just so that you guys know, is the one that's on guilt. I don't know how many of you guys have ever struggled with guilt.
A lot of people like that one.
Like everybody, you know. And I was talking to Melissa, and she's like, yeah, you need the guilt. I'm like, okay. But I love that track, but she's got so many more too. So let me just see here. Okay, so real quickly, because I know they've already received a lot, but can you just give them a little bit of a call to action, a little incentive here to be on the hour-long presentation we're going to have on October 15th. And I know you guys are jumping for me to get the link out there. I promise I'll get it out to you right after this because it's free. But, can you share, and this is something that I know that creates significant momentum, and that, you know, some things that could really help grow their business right now, because they are setting goals. And so I know all of you guys are right now. I know you guys, it's time. We've already done 4 weeks. We're into week 5. It's time to reevaluate and reassess your goals in Isagenix. I know Leah Mehmetiklo, I just have to shout out to her too. She's absolutely fabulous. And she had enrolled 7 people last month. Like, got 7 people started on the program. Now she has a new goal for this month to do 10. And I know she'll do it. Like, I just know she is, because she's a goal achiever. Not just a goal setter, but a goal achiever. So I want you guys to think about, what is an achievable goal for you? I'm not going to tell you. Maybe it's not 7 or 10. Maybe it's just 1 or 2. You guys need to set your goals where they're at. But for these next 90 days, I'm going to have Melissa, or well, yeah, the next 90 days, but let's maybe even just the next 30. Make a 30-day goal, okay? 30-day goal. You're going to reach out to 1 person per day and share the Isagenix story, whatever it is. But can you give them 3 steps, or 3, I guess it's just a call to action that can help them set these goals and accomplish them over the next 30 days? Would you do that for me? Yes,
of course. Okay, well, first step, here's a pre-step to the 3 steps, right? First pre-step is to decide, to make that decision. The one thing that, you know, I see with all successful entrepreneurs is they make that decision. I think I even asked you that too, Adrienne. I said, well, so when do you know it's time to go after your goal? And you said, I just decided to do it. And as soon as you decide to do it, you go. And when we're in that, like, oh, maybe it'll work, maybe it won't. That's the no man's land, right? Maybe it will, maybe it won't, gives us no real incentive to go forward. We don't really have incentive to quit. And that, I think, is the worst place to be. So as soon as you decide, which it sounds like all of you here have already decided because you're here on this call, that's the main thing. You know, that's the first pre-step. Then after that, I want for you to start reframing, meaning changing, shifting negative thoughts that come into your mind. When I did this first exercise, I've always seen myself as a pretty positive person. But when I did this exercise of actually writing down what negative thoughts are going through my head every day, it was so horrible. It was like I had, I think, 4 to 6 pages worth of just really bad thoughts, like I'll never get to where I want to be. Oh, I'm such an idiot. Oh, when, you know, well, how come I feel like I'm never improving? All these things, like, and I wasn't even aware of it because it's so subconscious that those thoughts are just running through your mind constantly. And it might be surprising to you because even if you feel like you are a positive thinker, it might be surprising how many negative thoughts come into your mind. And a lot of that is also influenced from media and things you see and, you know, people who you talk to influencing those negative thoughts. So a lot of times they're not even your own. But I want for you to start thinking about what it is that that's going through your mind every day. And as soon as you notice a negative thought, catch it. And as soon as you catch it, that's your opportunity to reframe it, meaning change it into the opposite statement. So if you say, I'm never going to reach this 90-day goal, or this is so hard. Well, if you're telling yourself that, that's exactly what your mind is going to manifest. So instead, catch that and say, okay, I'm working every day on building strategies to meet my goal. I will accomplish this because I'm taking action. Whatever it is that you feel like it will be the positive opposite. Start to reframe that. And you'll notice how much that will shift your positive thinking. And as you do this, the more you do this, it becomes really automatic. So I've been doing this for about 10 years now. And it doesn't mean my negative thoughts are never there because I'm human. But what happens is, back 10 years ago, I would have had a negative thought like, oh, I'm so fat today or whatever it is, right? That negative thought would go through my mind all day long and make me feel tired, exhausted, down, negative. And now if I catch a negative thought and something comes up and, you know, I'm working on a lot of goals too. And sometimes it seems overwhelming. And if I get up and I go, oh, I just feel like I'm never going to get this stuff done. I catch it. I notice myself saying that and I switch it and I go, okay, I have a plan. I'm going to start, doing X, Y, Z. I will accomplish this, slowly but surely I'm going to get there. So those sorts of things start to become very automatic, and then your positive thinking becomes a habit. So that's one thing to do. The other thing is really simple, quit complaining. So just first off, stop complaining. I found a quote one day that said, quit complaining for 24 hours and see what happens. And I was like, I don't really complain that much, but I noticed I actually was complaining a lot. And as soon as I stopped that, as soon as I caught myself complaining, I stopped it and then, did the positive reframe. And it was amazing how much energy I had. And if you're constantly dragging yourself down with negative thoughts, you're not going to have any energy. You're going to feel drained and tired and overwhelmed. So that's number 2, quit complaining. And then 3, visualize what you want throughout your day and how you want to be first thing when you wake up in the morning. So there have been some amazing studies on visualization. One is that there was, I don't know if you've ever heard of this, but 2 basketball teams were divided. One team was told, practice your 3-point shots every single day. And by the end of the week, we're going to test how many 3-pointers you get. The other team was told, don't practice at all, just visualize making those 3-point shots. Imagine where you stand, imagine how your stance is, imagine your arm movement, imagine seeing that ball going into the net. And what was amazing, this was the first really breakthrough experiment on visualization, because what they found is that the team who didn't practice at all, they just visualized all week, made the most 3-pointers. They made more 3-point shots than the ones who were actually practicing. And what that proved is that our mind cannot tell the difference between reality and imagination. So, we can be delusional about our negative experiences. We can say, oh, everything is, horrible and all that. Or we can imagine a better future for ourselves. And so that starts first thing in the morning. It's just imagining how you want, not your to-do list, but just first thing in the morning, how do I want to respond to today? What sorts of actions am I going to take today that are going to contribute to my goal? And so that's the first thing, to do. It takes maybe a minute, 2 minutes. And then again, like everything I've been talking about, it becomes a habit. And so the more you do that, the more you'll get in that state of mind. And also your mind will focus on what you want rather than what you don't want. And your mind is like a speed reader. It will just speed over all the don'ts and the wants, and it'll just get to keywords. So if you say, I don't want more debt, your mind will go into more debt. So there's a focus filter in our brain that triggers, that shows us what to focus on. And the first thing starts with our thoughts. So make those visualizations a habit in the morning, and that will get you into an automatic focus and ability to achieve those goals. So those are my top 3 little mini things for you. I got like a whole huge toolbox of stuff, but that will help to, you can start doing that right now to get you going forward.
Yeah, I've been taking notes like crazy. I'll remind everybody as well as we go through this, because that is just, it's so simple and yet so powerful. And I think sometimes we're like, oh yeah, make the decision, or, stuff like that. But that, when you had me do that, write down the negative thoughts that I had in a day, I was like really sad about myself. I was like, wow, is this what I really think? I think I'm fat or ugly or need more makeup, or that I'm a terrible presenter, or you know what I mean? Like, I go through all these negative things, and George was telling me some of the ones that he was experiencing too. He's like, we all have it, male, female alike. We see a flaw, or we think that we need perfection in our life, and perfection doesn't exist, and yet we hold ourselves to this really silly standard of, like you said, whatever we see on TV, or whatever you guys even see in your environment. Like, you cannot compare yourself to other people. Like, you just can't. It's not okay, and it's not okay for yourself to you really, like one of my really good friends was saying, the best love affair you can ever have in your entire life is loving yourself. Is really, accepting yourself, faults and all, and really, truly, deeply falling in love with who you are, and that exercise helped me start on that path, because, I think I thought I was a really positive person. I think so many of us are, and we do create some positivity in our lives, but we don't realize the extent of what's holding us back until we really write it down. And there's a true mental connection with putting pen to paper, you guys, and holding yourself accountable that way. It's one thing to make a decision. It's another thing to take action and really put pen to paper and figure out how you're talking to yourself, or how just in general. So that's huge. And the reframing process was huge. In fact, I had to do a reframe the other day. George and I just got back in town, and I literally, like George was saying earlier, I was running around like a chicken with my head cut off. My daughters wanted to do this Car Divas program, which is like, woo, all the little girls do Car Divas, which is a savvy program where all these little girls get together and they do reframing, and they do like this positive, coaching together. They get together, stuff like that. So I'm like, they've been talking about this for like ever. And we just get into town, and like the next day, and they come home, and I'm like, I have a full schedule of calls. They're like, well, Mom, you said we could do it. I'm like, I have to get them in swimming suits, haul them over to this other place. And I'm like, okay, how can I turn this into a positive? And you guys, you have to know, I was like, and I was keeping it together, right? I think sometimes we do this in our lives. We like think we're keeping it together, but inside we're like, freaking out. And that's how I was. I'm like, okay, I'll be back in a second. I was sitting in the car in a call. I'm gonna be, and I was just so frustrated. And so I really had to do some deep reframing for a moment. And I was, like you said, it's not gonna be perfect right away, but to start the process of reframing is such a huge step. And to visualize your day. And a visualization is 100% without a doubt one of the best things you can ever do for yourself. Whether you decide to wake up, like we've talked so many times about this, you guys, whether you decide to wake up like 5 or 10 or even 15 minutes just in your day and really visualize, like she said, how you want your day to go. And with total positivity, not, nothing negative, just focus only on the positive. What is it going to feel like? What's it going to look like? And that creative mastery of visualization is so powerful for your life, because when you can emotionalize a goal, when you can really envision and emotionalize how the day's going to feel and the day's going to go, everything turns out so much better. So reframing, like you said, you can take a few deep breaths in your car with your kids in the back screaming and yelling or whatever, and you can take a few deep breaths and reframe and revisualize how the day's going to go. And that's
can I add to?
Yeah.
Oh, sorry. Yeah. Can I add to that too? Is sometimes the one of the responses I get is, well, I don't want to just keep on faking it. Like I'm just, if I'm really feeling sad, I don't want to just keep acting happy. And I like to address that because we don't want to repress negative emotions either. But I'd like for you to set a time, schedule a time where you're going to go, okay, for this half an hour, I'm going to bawl it out. I'm going to cry for like between 2 and 2:30, and I'm just going to let it all out at 2:30. The timer goes off, done. And then you move forward. It's really, really effective because you're giving yourself permission to have those emotions, but you're not letting it carry you and paralyze you throughout the whole day.
Cool.
So that's a little tip.
Rumi even talks about, he says like that your body's like a house and every emotion gets to come through your house, but there's windows and doors everywhere, right? So the emotion's allowed to stay, but it also is allowed to exit, and that's a choice. It's up to you.
Reframing is so important in the business too. So many people complain sometimes saying, I cannot find prospects. How can you reframe that? The opposite. Oh, I am a magnet for people. Or sometimes you say, gosh, I don't have enough time during the day. How you reframe? The opposite. I've done that all the time. Actually, I learned it in a NLP training years ago.
Yeah.
It's a really powerful tool for everything, for personal stuff, for business stuff, for everything. It's really good.
Yeah.
I'm glad you brought it up.
That's awesome.
Melissa, thank you so much.
And remember,
welcome.
Gratis. Free.
Free.
Our daughters are doing a Spanish lunch right now, so we've been.
That's funny.
So I was like, "Oh, good job, George." And my mom doesn't think she needs anymore.
And if you do everything that Melissa's saying, you're gonna see a lot.
I love those, George. That's awesome.
Favorite glasses.
I have a quote for this.
That's great.
Yeah, because she keeps hiding them from me. I find them.
No.
That's funny.
I just want to say thank you again. We're going to do a little bit of housekeeping in a moment. Guys, I promise we will get you the link so that you can pre-register right away. Okay. Is Melissa taking questions? Melissa, yeah. Do you guys have questions? Okay.
I could take questions, sure.
Thing on the side in the chat. If you guys click on the chat right here. Lucy, do you have a question that you'd like to ask? Let me unmute.
I do. Melissa, it was really interesting listening to you say that give yourself that permission to, feel that emotion from 2 to 2:30.
Uh-huh. So
what is the secret at 2:31 to pull yourself out of that?
That's a really good question, Lucy. So I'm glad you asked that. So our negative state, like being in that sad state, that's a state of mind, right? And then to shift that state of mind, to just shut it off it's a little bit challenging. But once you train yourself to do that, it becomes easier. But one of the things you can do to change your state is it's what we call power posing. And this is really awesome. It's like, you find your power pose. This has actually been studied in psychology. If you do this for 2 minutes, it neurologically changes your state of mind. And it's it depends on whoever it is. Like my power pose is this. And so if at like 2:31, whether you want to or not, I do this a lot. Even if I don't feel like it, I'm like, okay. And I'll start like this. And then I'll go like, okay, and start getting into my power state. And seriously, 2 minutes later, it switches. I'm like, all right, I'm feeling good. I can go now. And, try it. It sounds kind of silly, but it really does help. And I actually will go into like the bathroom just to do it because it's so effective. And my husband will remind me too, if I'm feeling down, he'll be like, in your power pose. It really, really works. And it has been psychologically studied. So, that's one tip that you can do. And then also, to again, reframe, like going into that, changing the negative statement into the positive statement. So if it's okay, I'm totally sad. Okay, I can now move on. Like I gave myself permission. I can have this next whatever 5 hours to be happy and reframe, those negative thoughts that are going in your mind. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. I know it's a challenge. I'm not going to say it's easy, but it does take practice. And as soon as you get it, it's all muscle memory. Your mind will, and it actually literally will create a new neuro pathway. So there's a firing signal to a negative behavior in your mind. That firing signal, we actually have the power through our thoughts to turn those signals off and then start a new pathway. And these are some of the techniques to do that. So yeah, so try to practice it, and try not to get too serious about like too much into the rules about it. Like if it's 2:45, that's okay. As long as you say, okay, it's time to move on.
No, that's great. Thank you. That's a great tip.
Sure. Yeah, it was a good question.
Does anyone else have another question? Everyone's muted, so if you have a question, just start talking, and then I'll mute everyone else out.
I have a question, Adrian.
Okay, wait. Which one? Who's that?
Oh, sorry, it's Jen.
Jen. Hey. Oh, look. You have your hand raised.
I'm still figuring this out. It's kind of like, oh, look, I can raise my hand. Okay.
Hi, Jen.
Hi. Hey, so
I'm muting everyone as fast as I can. Sorry, guys.
Can you hear me okay?
Yeah.
What are you doing?
So my question is, wait, I'm not there anymore, or nobody's there.
I can see you.
Okay,
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah, we can see you and hear you.
So my question is, when you've like nurtured a negative behavior and you've nurtured like anger, I know neurologically speaking, you kind of wire yourself that way.
Yep.
I have children who I am trying to break from this habit, and I don't exactly know where to start with that.
So your kids have the anger emotion?
My youngest has a hard time. Yeah, I've had a really hard time pulling him out of it. He's just being angry, and so it's his emotion for everything. Writing it down has been really interesting, but I'd really like to figure that out.
Yeah, and there's probably no one answer for that, because it just depends on what he's experiencing. So for one thing, we can find I like what you said, nurturing a negative emotion, because we can find through every negative emotion, there's a positive intention. And so, in other words, that anger is trying to give you something positive, even though the anger is negative. So if anger is my way of giving me attention because I'm not getting what I need, and that's creating an ability for people to hear me, if I'm not feeling heard, then the anger comes out and there's a positive benefit. And so if that anger then gives me attention, then I have what's called a secondary gain. Then I'm gaining something positive from having that anger. So the more that we get positive benefit from it, the more that we learn to have that emotional response to get what we need. So in order to break that, we have to find out, well, what is it that you need that you're not getting? And what do you need to get that? Like what strategies, what inner resources? And that's where we first start out, with whenever I work with somebody, is what is it that you're getting, that you're not getting, that you need, that's causing this, the intention of the anger. And then from there, we go into negative belief systems, because somewhere along the way throughout our childhood, there's a limiting belief that was created, like I'm not good enough, or whatever it is. And that belief will create symptoms like the emotions, like anger and things like that. So, sorry, I don't have like a specific one answer. That's just because it really goes in, it really just depends on what your child is experiencing, what their limiting beliefs are, what positive intentions are coming from that emotion, what gains they're getting from it. So, but one thing you can do is just kind of notice, you can actually go into his perspective at night, and you can sit there and you can think, if I were my child, what do I need that I'm not getting? What is this anger giving me? And if you really associate yourself into his position, you can start to see a little bit more perspective. So yeah, so try that. And I'm more than happy to talk to you more if you wanted to do a consultation too, kind of get clear on it more. But also we'll go into some of the, on the 15th, some ways to get to those limiting beliefs. So we'll definitely touch on that. So you might get some more insight on the 15th.
Okay.
Yeah, thanks.
That was great. I'm like taking notes. I mean, I just love it. And I know Kim Reese just shared something in the chat group. I don't know if you can see it, but she said that working with Melissa was instrumental in my mindset getting right and with moving myself and my family literally from one place to a whole nother state to start over. And let me just get to bottom here. Oh, she helped keep me centered. And I just wanted to share that with you because.
Oh, thank you. That's awesome, Kim. Thanks for the feedback. I'm really glad. She was, so much fun to work with. Like really, and I think, a lot of your team, in order to decide, I mean, I think for anybody, in order to decide I'm going to work for myself, you have to have a lot of that like go-getter attitude, and that's why I love working with entrepreneurs because it's like, they're like, okay, what do I need to do? Let's go do it. And she was totally like that. So you're awesome, Kim. Thanks for the feedback. And it's really exciting for me to like see so many improvements. It's really cool.
I love it. Well, you guys, you can do personal one-on-one coaching with Melissa Clough if you go to melissaclough.com. I'll actually put it in the chat here as well as share it out in the group. melissaclough.com. Okay, CLOUGH. All right. Melissa Clough.
That's important.
That's important. Yeah.
Yeah.
CLOU.
Yeah.
For that. Just kidding.
Yes. And also, if anybody wanted to do one-on-one coaching with me, I'm offering a special rate, which I'll only reveal on the day if you show up live. So on the 15th, if you show up live, you'll get a significant discount on coaching. And also, I am releasing, and your group will be the first group I'm releasing my new course with, and that will be hugely discounted too, which is called the 21-Day Mental Cleanse. So I think that, with all of you doing physical cleanses, this will help to like get through the mental stuff. And even when you're doing cleanses, you feel all the mental stuff comes up, right? I notice every time I do a physical cleanse, I'm like, oh yeah, I feel so upset. Why? It's like all this like stuff comes to the surface, your addictions, your habits, a lot of things, blocks. So I'm releasing that also on the 15th with a special rate. And then thirdly, I have our practitioner training coming up in Austin, March 24th through April 1st.
I'm doing it!
And this is, I don't know if any of you all know, the history of NLP, but the first generation of NLP was created for salespeople. And it was formed because it was a way to help build rapport with customers and clients and to help to communicate your message in the most authentic way and in a way which they can understand. So if you want to learn exactly how to do those techniques, I'm offering that certification training also at a special rate. So you get all of those released to you on the 15th. And if you sign up for the 15th webinar, on the 15th, I'll send you a confidence hypnosis download. So,
oh my gosh, are you serious? Okay.
Yeah, if you sign up by tonight, then you'll get that confidence hypnosis download, and that should help you to get your mind in the right place to gain the confidence to be where you want to be.
Okay, I just told George, grab your computer and put the link out now.
Right.
So register you guys and get the confidence hypnosis free. Wait, what if I registered today during the daytime? Do I personally get the confidence one, Melissa?
Yes, of course. Yeah, I'll definitely send that to you.
Yay, I'm so excited.
I'm putting up the link on here too.
Try not to be too analytical, right?
I just put up the link for everybody to sign up for the webinar on the 15th, mindmastery.academy/breakthrough. And it's not just going to be, talking about the products I have. I actually will give you some very specific processes, techniques to use to really get your mind in the right place to move forward with your goals.
Yay!
And my husband will be on there too. So Joseph Clough, he's an Amazon best-selling Hay House author, and he wrote Be Your Potential. And he's going to be on the course sharing his information as well. So you get double time, double whammy on that.
I love you guys. I especially love you guys together too. That whole course that we took here in Austin just totally changed George and I's perspective. So I'm so excited. you have given way more than I've seen so many coaches give tonight, even just with the team, giving the 3 steps, letting them know that you're having a free, not $197 webinar per hour, but a free live event on the 15th at 11 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. And I will, you guys, I'm creating a Facebook event for this. I'm going to send everything out. This is generic too. I mean, a lot of Isagenix people, we're going to be promoting it to a lot of Isagenix people as well. But feel free, you guys, to invite your friends, invite your family, invite people who you know would be interested in these type of processes. So, yeah, I mean, my goal is, you know, if every single one of you could really just let people know about it. Like, don't, you know, it's fun for you to be there, but what if you invited your teammates? What if you actually invited people who, you know, you see on a regular basis and work with and all that good stuff? So make it a family affair, make it a community affair, because it's free. It's a great place to get to know Joseph and Melissa better and everything that they truly offer. On top of the fact that if you
the other big ones in the sink.
What's that?
What? Let me know. Something's in the sink. Oh my gosh. Go get it.
Oh my gosh. Sorry.
This is live.
This is live, y'all.
I was like, did I miss something?
I know, like, did I leave something in the sink? No, I'm kidding.
Who was that?
And just to kind of recap and just get through this, you guys, for you guys that are specifically building your business right now during the 90-day run. And that is that there's 3 things I want you to do to set yourself up for your success in October. Obviously, 4, because now you have the October 15th event that you're going to be at, okay? But the next one's going to be, number 1 is set your 30-day goal. So whatever that looks like for you, guys, take a look at whatever you did last month. If you're brand new, your goal should probably be, you know, to go manager, you +2, them +2, okay? Or to reach out and connect and just start sharing Isagenix. If you've been in for a while and you guys have kind of noticed your efforts maybe waning or something like that, or you really want to take it to the next level, then set some goals that kind of scare you a little bit. Set some things that make you go, oh my gosh, I can't believe I said I was going to enroll that many people this month. You know, I better get on it. You know, set some things that really kind of, you know, set your soul on fire a little bit, make you get out of bed and go, I guess I need to get going, right? Do that because, you know, I always found that if you aim high, right, like, what do they say? If you shoot for the moon, you end up amongst the stars, right? So we want to get stars. You know, I've got some of you guys like teetering on the edge of like 1 star or 2 stars. So let's get some stars. And you guys actually recommend you get some of those star Post-it notes. You can order them off Amazon and write your friends and, you know, write the people that you're wanting to connect with about Isagenix on these star Post-it notes and put them in, create a funnel. Create a funnel of people that you're working with as you guys are reaching for your star goal. As an Isagenix, that's what we do. We get stars, right? So the second thing is I am releasing a tracker form, and the tracker form that we have, I'm gonna reissue a brand new tracker form. How many of you guys like to write things down? How many of you guys are neat, orderly, and organized in your business? Yes, okay. So we like to write things down. We like to just really get clear with ourselves. Immediately, we set that decision. And we need to get clear, right? So tracker forms for me are a way for me to have clarity every single week that I'm building my business. It's going to have a section for connections, presentations, follow-ups, enrollments, new associate interviews. You guys, it's going to have a gratitude section. So you guys can do your gratitudes, right? How, you know, are you spending 5 minutes per day being grateful or reaching out to somebody and letting them know why you're grateful for them? And so it's going to have some really awesome sections that we haven't had previously. And so I'm going to put that out there for you guys to fill out. And if you really want to step up your game, post out your results by noon every Sunday. So in the TBF group, you'll see it out there. I'm just going to put a little thing. Hey guys, post out your points, because you give yourself points, right? So post out your points by noon every Sunday. And it's not to like scare you half to death that you never come back or anything. It's for you to be even that much more committed to yourself. And honestly, to see what's going on in the team. We're connected. We're all one. We work together. We make calls together. We do presentations together. You know, we're all connected. And so for us to keep track together as a team is such a huge reward for everybody to get really clear. So post those points out and you'll see me do that. Okay, the third one is that we have issued a brand new book of the month. So we do a book of the month every single month. And for this month, we have a really awesome book that I've been telling everybody about. And it's by, her name is Anita Moorjani, and it's called Dying to Be Me. And it's so much about personal development. It's so much about mind mastery. It's so much about letting go of the past so that you can move forward. So that's really, this whole month is about that. And truly the 90-day game plan. But I love this book. It's about a woman who has a very interesting childhood, and she actually ends up getting cancer, and she has what's called an NDE, or a near-death experience, and she dies basically. And she has this incredible experience about, you know, seeing herself for what she truly is, how she got herself into that situation. And the end is absolutely fabulous. Like, she does a summary at the very end about how to truly fall in love with yourself, how to, you know, just so many amazing things. So I don't want to give the book away. So Anita Moorjani, Dying to Be Me, download it tonight. Okay. After you register for the October 15th, download Anita Moorjani on your iBooks. I put a picture out in the group of what it looks like. But let me just share with you guys real quickly, because I know how important pictures are, right? You guys, okay, so iBooks, and it just downloaded, let me see here. Oh, hold on, I'm gonna have like 5 books come up, it's gonna be loud. Okay, Dying to Be Me by Anita Moorjani, my journey from cancer to near death to true healing. So I'm gonna pause it, but if you guys can kind of see my screen, it's got like clouds in her face. That's the book we're talking about. Okay, Dying to Be Me. And that's, you know, there's such a huge message. The book next month's going to be even awesome. But
yeah, I just want to make sure that don't forget that you have the 90-day game plan in your back office.
Yeah.
Make sure you do it, because this week 5 they have a cool exercise there.
Okay. So make sure you're doing that as well. Okay. All right, you guys. That's it for now. We see here, if you guys have any questions at all, my scheduling link is in Team Breakthrough. You're welcome to schedule a 15-minute free coaching call or anything like that anytime you want to get more clear about how you can move forward in isogenics. And yeah, I think that we've had a very successful Zoom chat conference. I'm looking forward to everybody just crushing it these next 30 days of our 90-day. And let's all go on and register now so we can get the confidence hypnosis.
Yes.
Yay! All right, everybody. I'm going to unmute you all if you'd like to just say thank you. And here we go. 1, 2, 3. Thank you.
Gracias.
Thank you, everybody. Thanks so much for listening and for the invite, Adrian and George. I'll look forward to seeing all of you on the 15th, 11 a.m. Pacific. I put the link in there. It's mindmastery.academy/breakthrough.
Thank you.
I'm already registered.
Oh, yay! All right, you'll get your download by tonight. All right, thanks, Lucy. I'll see you soon.
Thank you.
All right, guys. Bye-bye.
Hi. Sorry.
It's like, I'm trying to find everybody. Okay. You guys are awesome. Bye-bye, guys.
No, where's not my tag?